So, maybe football is coming home. Is it? Is it not? Who knows? One thing that's carrying on though is Beat the First Man. Here we are with another episode, all the usual fun and games. Coming up in today's show, the boys from Club Royale on zooming in as we discuss their music, find out the latest on Dad v Lad, the Euros. There's a fantastic How Old for you. And guess what? There's loads more. So what are we waiting for? Roll the titles. So, 46 episodes of Beat the First Man done. So what started out as me and an iPad for 10 minutes, just chatting shit. Okay, I hear you, I'm still just chatting shit. Has progressed into an hour's worth of huge production, fancy lighting, No, it hasn't. That bit's a lie. But it has turned into quite a decent show, I reckon, and I hope you're still enjoying it. If you are new, welcome on board the BTFM Bus. If you are new, please subscribe down below. That it's got that nailed now, because that's a good thing to hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the little bell, because then you don't miss another episode. But most of all, what we do like more than anything else is the little thumbs up at the end where you click the like button to say you enjoyed it. And even better, fire some comments in below. Who's going to win the Euros? Who's your fancy? Who do you want to win the Euros? Who do you hope gets thrashed in the Euros from here on in? Do you care about the Euros? What even is the Euros? You get the drift. Anyway, so How Old? So I've had a little bit of a fear for a while that this has got a bit of a Scottish leaning, but it's got to be said, genuinely, they've given us some of the best How Olds that there are out there. Until now, we have the greatest one so far, and it's an Englishman. So, this guy came through the ranks at Arsenal. He made 339 appearances for the Gunners, scoring 22 times, including a rather famous one in a cup final. After 12 years in North London, he moved further north where he had spells with Middlesbrough and Hull City. Not gonna lie, couldn't remember him playing for Hull City, do remember Middlesbrough. Anyway, he then retired and went into the media. He also won 10 caps for England and got the rather brilliant nickname of the Romford Pele. But what we want to know is when this photo of Ray Parlour was taken, how old was he? Simple as that. So at the end of the show, I will reveal how old he was, and will you be right or will you be wrong? And Ted will be here to help us with the reveal part. So, time for this. The name game. Ah yes, the famous jingle. That's the high production bit we spoke about at the earlier part of the show. So the part of the show where we find a brilliantly named footballer from somewhere around the globe. And this week we go to Switzerland, the land of mountains, Toblerones, clocks. Yeah, I'm done. So sadly his career was blighted by injuries. He had spells at Grasshoppers and Basel, but he never really got going at either. A sign of his ability, he did get 2 caps for the Swiss in 2009, but eventually, unfortunately, injuries totally curtailed his career. He didn't even, I think he made just under 100 appearances in total. But of course, again, that is not the bit we're interested in. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Andre Muff. Now, I know what you're thinking. The last few weeks we've done a cheap gag where, for instance, we had Danger 4p and I put up a picture of a 5p. I can't remember the other ones. If you think I'm going to be cheap enough to put up a picture of a muff, no, I'm not going to put up a picture of a muff. Here's Andre Muff. So there you go, that was the name game. Next week we will hunt out another great footballer's name for you and share it with you to your enjoyment. So Dad v Lad, the Euros, as we move into the latter stage of the competitions. You may recall last week Kian was on here, aka Lad, very proudly wearing his Scotland shirt. Again, a lie, it was a forfeit, he lost, he had to wear it. As we predicted the results of all of the last 16 matches, I was leading 7-2 going into the last 16. So let's see how we got on with the last 16 results and also how we see the quarter-final ties going. Here's Dad v Lad, the Euros.
So here we go then. Dad v Lad, the Euros is back again. We finished the round of 16. So Kian, how are we?
Not too bad. I was very excited after last night.
Why? What did you do? Did you do anything exciting last night? Oh.
Well, we only beat the Germans.
Oh, did you? Really? I've not. It's not been anywhere. I've not seen it on social media or anything. So let's review the round of 16. So before the round of 16, it was 7-2 to me. So let's have a look and see how we got on. So Wales, Denmark. I went 1-0 Denmark. You went 2-0 Denmark. So we both got a point, but no more than that because it was 4-0. So none of us even close. Italy, Austria. I went 2-0 Italy, and you went 2-1 Italy. If it had been after extra time, we would have got the points. But sadly, after 90 minutes, it was 0-0, so neither of us got a point.
Yeah.
Netherlands, Czech Republic. I went 2-1 Netherlands. You went 2-1 Czech Republic. So a point for you. A goal away from getting a big 3 points.
Oh, it was close as well.
It was close, yeah. They should have scored. They should have scored before your man got sent off.
Malin should have scored, but oh well.
Belgium, Portugal. I went 1-0 Belgium. You went 2-2. So that's 3 points for me with a 1-0 Belgium win. Croatia, Spain. I went 0-0. You went 1-1. So we both got.
We were far off.
We both got a point for the draw, and we both predicted that Spain would go through. So we both got a bonus point. So we got 2 points each. Cool. France, Switzerland. I went 3-0 France. You went 2-0 France.
Well, you got the 3.
Yeah, well, yeah. Nil point for both of us. Yeah. England, Germany. I went 2-0 England. You went 1-0 England. So 3 points for me, 1 point for you, and £60 for me because I backed them to win 2-0. And Sweden, Ukraine. I went 1-0 Sweden. You went 2-1 Ukraine. But yet again, you're let down by the extra time.
It was an extra time, wasn't it?
Yeah. So no points for either of us. So after the round of 16, it is Dad 16, Lad 7. 9 points in it, but still loads of points to play for. There's 12 points to play for in this round alone. So we're going to start with the first quarter final. So we're getting into the real business end of the tournament now. Spain v Switzerland.
Well,
nobody expected Switzerland to be here. Let's be honest. We actually said last week the Toblerones would be going home on last week's show. And it appears they're not gone home. They're still there.
They don't just make good chocolate.
Yeah, no, apparently they make some decent footballers as well.
Yeah.
So how are you seeing the Spain-Switzerland game?
So I've actually gone for 2-2.
Ooh.
Because Switzerland against France looked very threatening every time they went forward. With that ball into the box to Seferovic, I think his name is.
Yeah.
He's just beating everyone in the air. And Spain at the back, they do look very vulnerable, I think. But then they've started to pick up a little bit going forward. But do I trust Morata to score more than 2? Not really. So I've gone 2-1. I've gone Switzerland to win on penalties.
Oh, so you've gone 2-2 and a Switzerland to go through. Right. So I do think Switzerland will score. I've put them down to score because I do think Spain's defence, they're good defenders, but I just don't think they've got the right balance.
Yeah.
But I think Spain have found their mojo, and I think the rest of the tournament are a little bit worried because they've hit 5 in 2 games running now. Because the one thing that Spain weren't doing was scoring goals. Now they've started scoring goals. So I think Spain will win. I've got Spain 2-1. I think Morata was brilliant on Monday.
He did play well. I still don't trust him.
Brilliant. And like I said last week's show, outside the penalty box, he has had an amazing tournament. If he could just add the goals to it. I'm so glad he scored the other night because he well deserved his goal. So I'm going Spain 2-1. So obviously I've got Spain if it does go to a draw as much for my bonus point as you put it as a draw. So
yeah.
So the second one, and I know you as an England fan, it's not the one you're looking forward to the most, but it's the one, let's face it, most of Europe is looking forward to the most. Italy v Belgium, the biggest quarterfinal of the 4 without a shadow of doubt. So how are you seeing Italy-Belgium?
I think they might cancel each other out a bit.
Yeah.
I think because Italy weren't that great against Austria going forward. I think they struggled until extra time. Depends whether Chiesa will start. I don't think he will. I think he does like Berardi. And Belgium in the second half against Portugal, they did not look the same side in the first they were in the first half.
Right.
So I think they're both score, but I think they're gonna struggle. I think both of them. I think it'll be 1-1.
Oh, another draw.
And I've gone for Belgium to win it.
And Belgium to go through. Right. Well, you know who I backed for the tournament. So I have to stick with them, even though they've got Belgium.
Yeah.
And I'm now going to tell you why they will beat Belgium. So here we go. Belgium's weakest part of their team is their back five, without a doubt, other than Courtois.
Yeah.
Courtois is decent, but the back four are wobbly. They've lost Castagna at right back, so they're weaker there. They don't look clever in the middle of the fence. They really don't. And they've lost a bit of their attacking potency. If De Bruyne and Hazard aren't fit, I think Belgium, they're really up against it. I thought Italy they did really struggle. But that first half of extra time, when it clicked, they were brilliant. And they could have been 3-0 up. They could have scored 3 goals in the first half of extra time. I think Italy are going to have too much. I think Italy are going to beat them. I'm going Italy 1-0. I think Italy are going to grind out a 1-0 and take themselves through to a semi-final against Spain. It could be, but you're going Belgium, Switzerland, so we're both going
quite like.
opposite.
I think that's more my heart. Belgium, Switzerland.
There might be a bit of that. So Denmark v the Czech Republic, the big game on Saturday, obviously.
Once again, I've kind of made another prediction with my heart, not my head, because I don't want to play Denmark because they've got a story, they've got a reason to play really well. So I've backed the Czech Republic to win 2-1.
Oh, right.
I think they're threatening. I think going forward they do look dangerous. And Schick, he's really in with a chance of winning the Golden Boot. I think he's 1 goal off Ronaldo, and I mean beating Ronaldo for the Golden Boot. If that's not enough to get him motivated, I don't know what is.
Well, there is that, but they've got a story. They're going to win it, aren't they? They're going to win the bloody tournament. You can see it coming. So I think Denmark, take out the fit. You've got to ignore the Finland game. So you can't look at that game. They lost that game. You've got to ignore that. They then lost to Belgium. No shame in that. Belgium are a good side. They lost to Belgium. They murdered Russia 4-1. They murdered Wales 4-0.
I think we could do that, to be honest.
They are a team massively riding the crest of a wave. I do think they're going to have a wobble in this game, but I think they're going to get through. I've gone for a 1-1 draw after 90 minutes, but I've got Denmark going through in extra time. So you have to go with, obviously you go with the Czech Republic.
Czech
time or penalties. But if I was England, they would worry me more than any other team left in the tournament.
That's why I want the Czechs.
I just think there's just something about the whole Denmark thing. Oh, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it when stories win. I'm the opposite. I don't like stories winning. See, I want a team to win who deserves to win it. At the moment, you can't argue with what England have done. You can't argue what Italy have done. The Danes, you can't argue what they've done. They've been brilliant, to be fair, since what happened. But it's always going to be because of Ericsson. They may well go on and win it, but let's wait and see. So the one that you're looking forward to the most, then?
Am I looking forward to it, really?
Well, you should be. I mean, God, it's only Ukraine. Jesus Christ. It's not a big team, is it? Let's be honest. So England, Ukraine then. I'll go first then, because you're a bit biased. So Ukraine are not a good side. They are not a good side. So I've watched them 3 times in this tournament, and I'm counting last night, which I didn't watch all of their game last night, and they've looked very, very average at best. Netherlands pulled them to pieces, other than a 10-minute spell where they scored twice. And then when the Netherlands had to score again, they just ran up the pitch and scored. I think they celebrated last night like it was their cup final, which it probably was. I think that was their cup. I think they put so much into last night. I don't think they're going to have anything left come Saturday. They looked like they were out on their feet by the end of the game last night. What have they got as a threat? Yarmolenko, he's okay. They've got that lad in midfield. I can't remember his name.
Yaremchuk.
Yeah, he's quite dangerous, but they got nothing. They're the weakest team left in the last 8.
Yeah,
they are the weakest team left in the last 8, without a doubt. I think you'd have had a lot. I think if you were playing Sweden, I'd have been much more worried for you. I think you'd win this easier than the Germany game. I said you'd beat Germany easily. I was right. I think you'll beat Ukraine very easily. So you can go first with the score and your thoughts, and then I'll give you my score.
I think, obviously, as an England fan, I think 2018, when we got to the semi-final, it was very much a thing of like, oh, it's nice to be here, but we're not going to win it, sort of thing. Like we were all wrapped up in it. Oh, it's coming home. But in the back of our minds, it was always, we're not going to win this. It's just nice to be here, sort of thing. But this year, it's like, right, we're here for a reason. We've played well, and there's a big chance with the fixtures we've got, potentially. And like you said about the Ukraine game, it was like, I thought it was the first game that was going to be abandoned by like exhaustion. They looked dead. And I think we played so well against Germany. And that's the best I've seen us play against under Southgate, other than that Muller chance. Jesus Christ. But I'm going to go 1-0 England. I'm still not confident with the attack.
Right, okay. I'm going to disagree with you on one thing. I don't think it was the best you've played in this tournament, not even close. I think you played better against Croatia. I think you gave Germany some big chances last night, and on another night, little T-Rex arms. You know, he saved that shot.
He played well.
He made that save, 2 saves last night, and for a little T-Rex, he didn't half get his arms up quite high. So, and you know, if Germany had a striker who could put the ball in the net, it could have been a different game. But
I think we were meant to win that yesterday.
I think you controlled the game against Croatia better than you controlled the game against Germany. I felt you gave Germany a bit, and down the flanks you looked a little bit suspect at times, especially down Luke Shaw's flank. That would be the area I would be targeting if I was an opposing manager, because he turned like a double-decker bus last night at times. But I think you win 3-0. It's not even in doubt. 3-0 easy. You've got the greatest midfielder in the whole of Europe, currently patrolling the whole tournament. It's the only thing that's keeping me sane as a Scotsman watching England win so easy. The fact that it's a Leeds United midfielder who's absolutely bossing the Euros. Kane's goal will be massive. That will be huge.
I hope so.
It will be huge. He has been shit, and he was shit last night.
He was shit last night.
You can flower it up all you like. He scored a goal, which is what he's there to do, but he was awful up until then. Absolutely dreadful. But I think that will give him a lift as well.
Hopefully.
I think the only danger I'd say that there is there's expectancy now. You're expected to win on Saturday, and people getting swept away a little bit on the it's coming home malarkey. And that's
just a thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but I would say that's probably your biggest threat on Saturday, the complacency. And I don't think he won't go and attack. He'll go and play the same tactics. It'll be the same tactics. Keep it tight. The biggest challenge for England going forward, and I said it today, and I'll say it again now on the show, is when England go behind for the first time.
Yeah.
So at the moment, he's playing very cautious. He's trying to keep it 0-0 for as long as possible, and then trying to grab a winner. What happens when the other team score first? Because I'm genuinely not sure he's got a plan to combat that.
No, I don't think he has.
And that would be my only worry. All the time when it's working, it's great. And he's seen as, last night he was a genius all of a sudden, having been slagged off 2 hours beforehand. He was an utter genius. But I think if England don't score first, that would be my only worry. As someone from the outside looking in, and I can look at it quite subjectively and say, look, don't bother me. If you win it, you win it. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it.
Yeah.
So let's just go through them then. So I've gone Spain 2, Switzerland 1. You've gone a 2-2 draw and Switzerland to go through. I've gone Italy 1, Belgium 0. You've gone a 1-1 draw and Belgium to go through. I've got Denmark, Czech Republic. I've gone 1-1 with Denmark to go through. You've gone 2-1 Czech Republic. And England, Ukraine, I've gone 3-0 England. You've gone 1-0 England. So you would have a Switzerland, Belgium semi-final and a Czech Republic, England semi-final.
As you can tell.
I would have a Spain, Italy semi-final and a Denmark, England semi-final. I think my semi-finals look a little bit more attractive than yours.
Mine's just a bit more, who do I want in the semi-finals?
Well, there we go. So we'll see. It's 16-7. Can Lad pull back the deficit against Dad? So, Cian, thank you very much. And for now, it's back to the show.
So there you go. Dad, rampant. Again, I take you back to Guess V knowledge earlier in the season when I got beat. I've learnt my lesson, I've come back with a vengeance, and I'm putting a lad in his place. Quarter-finals, let's see how they go. So Premier League managers, it's a knockout. You've been voting this week in the semi-finals. You may recall it was Brendan Rodgers v Jurgen Klopp. It was Pep Guardiola v Marcelo Bielsa. It was a penalty shootout against each other. Who wins went through to the Premier League managers, it's a knockout final. So I can now reveal the finalists are Brendan Rodgers, who narrowly beat Jurgen Klopp, but he beat him all the same, and Marcelo Bielsa. So Brendan Rodgers v Marcelo Bielsa in the Premier League managers, it's a knockout final. There is one category left, which will be revealed next week. What will also be revealed next week is exactly how the final will take shape. The public vote will only play a very, very small part in it. So we will get the true winner of Premier League managers, it's a knockout. So tune in next week to see the final and how it will work. The week after, you will get the result of the final. But for now, only leaves us to do one thing, really. I think you all know what it is. Why don't we join in? Come on, join in. Do this bit at least. Boom, 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 boom. I've got my Euros fever back. I think it's because I backed Italy at the start of the tournament and they're still going. I'm recording this on Friday night. It might not be after tonight. So zooming in. No, not zooming in. Whoa. Rewind. Not zooming in. It's this little fella. All right, Ted. Dickhead. Excuse me. Well, it's not zooming in, it's me. I'm the star of the show and you tried to jump to zooming in. Okay, it was an error. I make them every now and then. Every episode, I think you mean. Okay, how are we, Ted, anyway? Loving Wimbledon. What? Dun, 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 dun. Let's go, Andy, let's go. Let's go, Andy, let's go. Ted, what are you doing? Wimbledon, really. Tennis, the main man. Andy Murray, Muzzer, he's back. Okay, Ted, a couple of things. Number one, this is a football show, not a tennis show. And number two, what happened to backing the French? Two things, really. All about the tennis. After that shower from France, threw the towel in. The French, goodbye, au revoir. In my man Murray, he's no quitter. Right, okay, so now you're bringing tennis to a show about the Euros. Yeah, but that's just 11 men kicking a bag of wind around. Ted, literally, it's the cornerstone of the show. It's what the whole show is built around. It's not built around that, really. It's just nonsense thrown together. Harsh. Doesn't bother me. On the start, whatever happens to me, doesn't really matter. You're the one that needs the exposure. I don't think I need the exposure, Ted. We do it for a bit of a laugh. It's a bit of fun. Anyway, I presume a tennis player is going to get the little knob of the week then. Don't be stupid, really. It's called the Euros Little Knob of the Week. Why would I give it to a tennis player? Well, because you've been banging on about tennis since you came on the show? No. Euros Little Knob of the Week. No nominations. One winner. Every week we've not had any nominations. It's just been a winner, a winner, a winner. So, Ted, who's got it this week? Well, it's a German fella. He's always been a bit smug. But this week he kind of got his comeuppance. And when he had a bit of a nightmare, step forward Mr. Thomas Muller. Ah, yes, Thomas. Now, Thomas is one of those Germans who is usually pretty unflappable, it's fair to say. He's got a bit of a smug face. He always looks like he thinks he's one better than everybody else. But in the game against England on Tuesday night, he had the greatest opportunity I have seen for a player in a last 16 match for some time. And he managed to, well, he didn't even hit the target. He dragged the ball wide of the target. But to be honest with you, Ted, it did give us something brilliant, didn't it? Oh, yeah. Go on, Reedy. Play the video. Yeah. Roll this little video. Yeah, so that was a German fan park as Thomas Muller ran through and dragged the ball wide. I'm not going to lie, it's very, very funny. My tip is, keep rewinding, play again, find somebody new to watch and watch their reaction. Absolutely brilliant. And it was quite funny, wasn't it? It's got to be said. So Thomas Muller, you are rightly this week Ted's Euros Little Knob of the Week. So whilst you're sat at home drinking your German beer, drowning your sorrows, move your Champions League medals to the side. There's your main award. So Ted, we look forward to hearing more about the tennis later then. You sure will, Reedy. Advantage, Ted. Oh, God. Anyway, now it's time for zooming in. So this week I was joined by two lads from the Ayr-based band La Club Royale as we discussed their music and of course their love of football. They found a brilliant reason for getting one of their players into the five-a-side team. It was great. And at the end of the chat there will be a clip of their new single Vibes, which is really, really good. So guys, for now, sit down, settle back, drink your coffee. Here is Zooming In with La Club Royale.
So this week, Zooming In, I'm joined by two Scottish lads from the band La Club Royale. We're joined by Connor and Lyle. Good evening, gents. How are we?
No
all
bad.
right, Mark, yourself, man. Cheers.
You all right, sir?
Not too bad at all, thank you, mate. And I did check that it was La Club Royale and not LA Club Royale because I wasn't 100% sure.
We had
cleared that one up.
Dan Potter said that in the radio show once. LA Club Royale, and we were like, who?
But it's interchangeable. Do you know what I mean? It's fine.
Yeah. Well, you see, you're thinking of your American market already. I like your style. Good thinking.
Cover all bases. That's it.
It's when we get famous and move to Los Angeles, we're sorted. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You'll be lording it up on the LA boulevards with your LA Club Royale t-shirts on. So, boys, there will be people out there who haven't heard of you, don't know what you're about. So, give us a brief sort of rundown on what La Club Royale are all about. What have you done so far? What you're doing at the moment?
When you go, Connor.
So we are. It's just the two of us. We're from a wee seaside town called Ayr in Scotland. It's the Los Angeles of Scotland. And we decided to make a wee two-piece band just based on the kind of stuff we listen to. It's kind of like 80s inspired, lots of New Order, M83. Dance inspired, just kind of the stuff we want to make that makes people dance and makes people happy and have a good time.
I'm so glad you just said that. I've literally on my notes here, so I've put your newest single out, Vibes, which is a wicked track. And if you are into like your 80s synth pop music, it is banging. I've just put on here, it's got such a New Order vibe to it with a bit of a twist. It's unbelievable. So I'm so glad you said New Order. It's another point for me for getting a band that you sound like. But no,
Connor's got a mad obsession with New Order.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that, man.
Nothing wrong with New Order. Do you mean one of the best English bands ever?
So what made you? Because it's quite an unusual. If you don't mind me saying, that's quite an unusual route for two young lads to go down for your music, for your band. You know, there's a lot of guitar bands around at the moment, for example. There seems to be coming on the scene every day at the moment. So it's quite unusual to go down that route. What made you go down that route? Was it just based on your tastes or just the way you fancy going?
We have done the guitar band thing for seven years. So it was like we were chipping away at that, and
we kind of thought, what's the most out there thing we can do that we're both interested in? I was like, let's start making electronic music. So, and that's how it kind of stemmed from there. And then we had a few writing sessions, the two of us, and kind of demoed a few tracks. And we're like, do you know what? We could probably do this. So we just decided to start making electronic music after being in a guitar band for each other for 7 years.
And I think it does give you a unique edge at the moment because you are very, very different to anything else out there. And like I say, I mean, Vibes is wicked. I mean, you dropped Vibes, 2 or 3 weeks ago, you dropped that out on social media, that got released. And literally, I mean, I gave it a listen and I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't expecting that, but I loved it. And I was like, right, okay, let's go back and listen to some of the old. And it's great. And I think anyone that's into that New Order vibe, Depeche Mode, anything like that is going to be absolutely all over you boys' music. They're going to love it. So it's good stuff. So you seem to be growing quite rapidly on social media. It's got to be said. Are you finding that a real good platform for pushing your music at the moment? Obviously, with it being quite difficult.
Twitter's unreal for that, especially with the support that's out there. That it's such a kind of accessible place, if you know what I mean. That people, music lovers are out there on Twitter, and they'll support you and share your music. So it's quite a useful and easy tool to have. And then the contacts that you make on Twitter as well. It's unreal. Out there.
Twitter's such a big community. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so many people that's all involved, and you can tap into like a community so easy. Like, you just make contacts and friends.
Make friends.
Twitter so easy. Yeah.
I think the big thing for me, and you say, obviously lockdown's been crap for all of us. We've all hated it. We've all can't deal with it. We've all had enough of it. But I will say that one of the major positives, people have rediscovered music because they couldn't go out. They couldn't do anything. They were listening to music a lot more. I've listened to so much more new music since lockdown started.
Same here.
And I think if anything positives come out of it, that is the one major thing. People have rediscovered music again. And Twitter's been brilliant. I've got virtually every band I've had on here has come through Twitter. It's just incredible, and it just it's so good.
Lockdown as well is like, it's opened up like kind of for podcasts as well. It's definitely made them kind of a bigger platform for podcasts and radio shows, like the kind of smaller radio shows that probably weren't getting the kind of attention before. But the lockdowns, even though it's been a shite thing to happen, but it's really it's really kind of helped in a way, music and the support around that.
So obviously we spoke a little bit before we come on air about live gigs, and that's something you're looking forward to in the future because you've got plans in place sort of next year. How excited are you about playing that first live gig when you get back out there and start doing it?
Excited. I'm nervous, Mark. I'm not gonna lie.
Don't know. It's nerves, and because obviously we've not been in like a venue or that interact with people in a while, so you don't know how people will react, and I don't know. It's just how like a lot of questions in your head, what the capacity is going to be like, and things like that. But exciting. It is exciting times for music as well. Just getting back out there. It will just be such a relief to get back up in that stage and just do what you love doing, which is playing live.
The music. It's the fact we've not played in over a year now, Lyle.
But well, the last time we played was February 2020.
And then when we go back this time, it's going to be so different to anything. So I play guitar usually, and I won't be playing guitar this time.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing something completely different. Apart from Lyle, who just turns up and sings as per usual.
Don't turn up to sound check, just walk on. That's it.
Proper rock and roll. Who needs a sound check?
I don't feed his ego. He doesn't carry any equipment. Just turns up, drinks the beers, and goes on stage.
I have helped in the past at some point.
So, if you had the choice, you could have one musical artist that you could do a collaboration with. You can have one each. Who would you go for?
I'm going to go for Robert Smith, just because I've seen he done something with churches recently, and I loved it. So I want to collab with Robert Smith for The Cure.
Yeah, Robert Smith, if you're watching, which is highly unlikely, I won't lie. But if you are,
don't say that. Don't say that, Mark. Maybe
anything could happen.
You never know. Lyle,
mine's would definitely would have to be Alex Turner.
Right, okay.
Last Shadow Puppets and Arctic Monkeys.
What are we going pre his American accent, or are we going with his new American accent?
No, I'm going right now. With all the weird shit and right now it's tremendous. Last Shadow Puppets, I would say.
The only man,
Last Shadow Puppets.
The only man from Sheffield with an LA accent.
I'm working in my LA accent just for that.
To go with the band.
Yeah, LA Thunder, I mean.
LA Club Royale, all over it. Right, boys, let's get stuck into your football. So, Connor, you're a big Celtic fan and West Ham fan, looking at the shirt. And
I'm not that big a West Ham fan. It's just only football.
just like the shirt. And Lyle, a big Hibs fan.
Yep.
And obviously Scotland fan, judging by the shirt.
I should have worn my Hibs top. So.
we'll start with the Euros. So, gents, how have you enjoyed the Euros? Obviously, as a Scotsman, it was our first one back in 23 years. It ultimately ended in disappointment, which we were kind of used to that over the years. But how great was it to be back at a major tournament?
I don't think it was a disappointment at all. Do you know what I mean? We bet England 0-0.
It's such a buzz. It brings a buzz to everybody, especially like kind of in the workplace, and something to talk about and something to go home and look forward to. Go and watch Scotland play, and I mean, I was buzzing, but not buzzing to get put out, but just when they were playing, just to see them.
I think we held up quite well. I think we're a lot better than expected, and I think taking the point off England
against England, we were a lot better than.
It was a game we could have won as well. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
I think the first game I think we put a lot of expectation on the team, and I think that's what kind of, I don't know, it kind of helped us get beat a wee bit.
Yeah, I think that flattened us a bit, didn't it? Because we went in as we made ourselves favourites when in reality we probably weren't. And look at them; they're in the quarterfinals. They're a decent side. Croatia only went out in extra time against a Spanish side who suddenly found form. England at the moment, they don't look like they're going to get stopped before the final. So we weren't in an easy group by any stretch of the imagination. And I think I wanted a goal and a result at Wembley. I got both, so I was quite happy.
I think it was the whole journey up to getting into the Euros as well that kind of made it, and then even just being there was good enough for me. Do you know what I mean?
David Marshall's reaction, he made himself a national hero, obviously with the penalty save to get us there, and then that quickly kind of slid away when he was near enough in the halfway line.
When he was sat in my front room with me when Schick shot.
Yeah. Ridiculous, man.
So, Connor, let's start with Celtic. So, obviously, last season, disappointing season. An unexpected appointment, is fair to say, in the form of Ange Postecoglou. So, how are we looking? How are we looking forward to the new season?
I quite like Ange's ethos, the way he spoke and the way he wants to play the football. He talks a good game so far. I'll give him a season, but I don't think it takes much to beat last season's performance in any way. Obviously, he's only got a few weeks to build the team for next season or the season coming.
What do you expect for Celtic this season? What position do you think? Are you just going for a second, or are you just going for a win, or could Hibs be second this time?
Hibs is not going to be second this time.
I know, but I could always dream.
It's going to be a tough job for him, but if he gets some signing in soon and the results are okay, I want to watch some good football. I don't mind being second if it's a competitive season. Whereas last season was not competitive; it was horrible to watch. So, I mean, I've worked in hospitality for my whole life, so I've not managed to keep up with football too much, apart from last season because I'm on furlough, and I probably picked the worst season to watch every Celtic game.
Well, it's one thing that people and I'm obviously based in England, but I know my Scottish football and I love my Scottish football. And the thing that people don't understand, they say it's a farmers league, they say it's a poor league, it's a two-team league, blah blah blah. What they don't grasp is the fact that Postecoglou has got to come in. He has got to be winning games from day one. He can't He cannot draw away at Motherwell. He can't lose at Hearts. He has to win game after game after game after game from day one. He's got no time at all. And that expectation is massive from the off.
If you're part of the old firm, you cannot lose a game.
No,
and this is through the season.
Yeah, it's expected. And even
that's
a draw.
It makes all the difference.
Yeah, it's massive. And I just said that pressure cooker. I don't think Eddie Howe would have coped. I genuinely don't think he'd have coped. I think he'd have folded under it. I've seen him at Bournemouth. I think he would have folded if he'd have come up to Celtic.
think-
And in a way, I think you've
It's the
possibly
expectation
dodged a bullet.
because at Bournemouth and stuff like that, you've not got that on your shoulders, and it's a fishbowl up here.
Yeah, it's a different world, and I don't, unless you've been in that world and you're part of that, you just never understand what that's like and that expectation level. So it's you know, I think he's got a tough job on his hands, but like you say, I think he's certainly talked the talk, and you know, his record in Australia, Japan, and with the national team is decent. So I think you have to give him a go and see what happens. I think it's one of those. But for him, Lyle, go on. Sorry, Connor, go on.
I think we just need to see what his signings are like, and then just take it from there and see how the first few games go. But I think all the fans do back him, and wish him the best. Hopefully, they still believe in him if he does get a few bad results anyway.
Because it's not just the manager that's changed; it's the director and everything like that. So Celtic's just one big rebuilding job again.
The full team. I think there's going to be like 4 or 5 players left.
And
the team for last season
as well.
The one thing you won't be doing is singing his name or getting it on the back of your shirt. That's for sure. I had to read it twice before I said it.
Oh, jeez.
So Lyle, Hibs, good season last year, finished third. Wow, I say disappointing in the cups. You got to the semi-final of one, you got to the final of the other, but ultimately didn't really turn up in either. What's your expectations for this season?
Finished third again, but and I don't know. It was a bit deflating, and it's not just because of the cup final and things like that. But I know finishing third is obviously massive for Hibs. I mean, European football and stuff like that. But I just felt as if I think Aberdeen had a lot to do with Hibs finishing third last season, because Aberdeen kind of took their foot off the gas and didn't score in some number of games. Aye, so I think if Aberdeen did pick up the points, Hibs, I don't think it would have pushed Hibs further. I think Hibs would have probably finished 4th or 5th.
Yeah.
The way Aberdeen were putting their foot off the gas and things like that. I think that was a lot to do with it. I think we were really lucky to finish third, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
If that makes sense anyway.
Yeah, no, it's interesting you say it. I mean, I guess if you look from the outside, you'd think, Christ, they've had a great season finishing third. But if you break it down, I guess you guys you're watching them a lot closer than I'm watching them, to be fair. And Nisbet, obviously, Nisbet is seen as the great white oak for the Scottish national team, the future. How good is he, or how good could he be?
Oh, he's up there. He's definitely a talent, and I think
he's good enough to play for Celtic next season.
But I think, he's not even played in front of fans, of Hibs fans yet. He's not even played in front of Hibs fans, and for him to just up sticks and leave and go to another team, I just think that would be. I think he would regret that.
Yeah.
Because I think another season, but I doubt it. I think Hibs will cash in if they get 4 million, maybe 4.5. But any less than that, I would think. I think the chairman would be. I think the owner, Ron Gordon, would be going back on his word where he's saying that he wouldn't sell a lot of players. I think Porteous will be gone as well. I've got a feeling that all these players are just got to.
Connor, next season. I wonder what that was then. It must have been background. Connor, next season, Scott Brown's going to run out at Celtic Park in a red Aberdeen shirt. How weird is that going to be?
It's going to be strange to see. I've seen some pictures on Instagram with him posing with the kit on, and he's still wearing the number 8 as well. But do you know what? I give him the best of luck, because there was times last season it was painful to watch him play, especially when Sorrow took his position off him and he dropped out the team. And for somebody that's been in a Celtic top that long and done that well in a Celtic top, it was sad to see him drop out and perform so poorly at times, especially in a time when we needed.
You have to give credit to Hibs, though.
Perform.
You have to give. Yes.
That's fine. We'll keep, and we'll still Josh Stoichkov next season. And
see, that's what I'm meaning.
I'll take
That's
Portis
bit-
as well.
No, I take Portis.
I know, I'll take Lisbon as well.
Right, so you
You
get
have
one.
him in a free.
You get one either or question each. So we'll start with you, Lyle. So obviously Hearts are back this season.
hmm
So you can either beat them 4 times, but they win the Scottish Cup, or lose to them 4 times and you win the Scottish Cup.
Oh, we'll win the Scottish Cup. Aye.
Take the 4 defeats.
As long as it's against them as well.
Hey, I can't say who you're playing in the final.
All right, that would be class.
And Connor, on the flip then, so Rangers Celtic, you beat them 4 times, but they win the league again, or you lose to them 4 times, but you win the league.
I would lose to Rangers 4 times and still win the league.
See, there's only one. Joe from Dictator was the only one who said, first of all, he said, yeah, I will win the league. And then he went, fuck it, no, I'm not having it. I'm not having 4. And the irony being that they then went and lost 4 times to them this season, I think, didn't they, including the cup. So, but so the time for you 2 boys to become managers then. So your ultimate 5-a-side team. So the rules are, as always, it's 1 team between the band. You have to have seen them play live. 1 goalie, 1 defender, 2 midfielders and a striker. So we'll kick off with your goalkeeper. So who are we going for between the sticks then, gents?
Lyle, you decide this one. I'm taking Fraser Forster. I'm sorry.
Hey, did he? I think I've seen. Right, okay. I think I've seen him live at Easter Road. Aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
I've seen him at
Celtic. You don't both have to have seen him. As long as one of you have seen him, that's all. You don't have to both have seen him.
When you go. Aye.
So
I was going to say Marciano, but no, that's fine.
I know, but I'm taking Fraser Forster. I just realised that he's much better than Marciano.
Oh, aye. That can't lie there.
Yeah, Fraser Forster. The second time Fraser Forster's been an ultimate 5-a-side team as well. The boys from Dictator had him in their side as well. So
So it should be.
And Marciano, funnily enough, he just missed out. The boys from Volca did theirs, and they had a Hibs and a Hearts lineup, and he just missed out to Craig Gordon.
Christ.
See, Craig Gordon's a good keeper, but Fraser Forster's like a hero at Celtics.
See, if Fraser Forster was there last season, I think he's
would have won the league.
Maybe
Maybe.
it'd have been a lot closer, definitely.
Yeah.
Just could have won something.
So, who are we going for as your defender?
Hey, I've got a list here. Have I just dropped it?
No, you're all right. Still there.
Well, defense. I'm going to say. I'm going to change it. I'm going to say Darren McGregor.
Darren McGregor. Now, he will be unknown to a lot of people south of the border. I know him because he was at St Mirren for a period of time, and as a Paisley boy, I know him from his St Mirren days. So, but go on, explain how Darren McGregor's got in your team to those that don't know him.
There's just a wee song. It goes, "Oh, Darren McGregor, oh, he's a class defender. He never gives the ball away," and that's why.
Yes, I love it. We've had a team of bastards, we've had a team of drinkers, and now we're getting a team where they've got good songs. So Darren McGregor as your defender, brilliant.
Yeah.
Right, so the first of your midfielders.
You said did you know say an air boy? Because you used to be it was the midfielders.
I forget what I said earlier, man.
You said Alan Forrest, which was a wee bit deflating for me.
So I said James Forrest, but like the only team I've seen the past 2 years is Airplane, so I said Alan Forrest.
His brother. That right. So is that just why is that?
I don't know. Just you put me under the spot, and I was like, do you know what? Fuck it.
Alan Forrest, because you were put under pressure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to say for the other midfielder. What do you?
He done a lot for air. Do you mean like he was
do you
a big
say
name.
Scott Brown?
What did I say, Scott Brown?
Would you?
I don't know. After last
you've
season,
just praised him there.
After last season, do you know what? Let's put Scott Brown in there.
Scott Brown, all right. So Alan Forrest is dropped.
Yes, in a heartbeat.
He won the subs bench.
Right, so Scott Brown's the first of your midfielders then. Who are you going alongside Scott Brown?
John McGinn.
Oh.
What a player.
Good choice. I never knew about this one, but yeah,
Meatball.
good choice, Lyle.
Wee meatball.
He's and a player who's adapted so well to the Premier League in no time at all. I think he'll go from Villa and go bigger again. I think he'll make another move.
Man United and Liverpool.
Yeah.
That was the kind of 50 million.
Yeah, he can't go to Man United as a Leeds fan. I can't have it because I really like John McGinn. If he goes there, I'll have to dislike him instantly. But I think he's been great. I think he's been one of the best Scottish exports from the FPL in recent times, without a shadow of a doubt. But I would say probably only Tierney's been better. I would think.
I was about to mention Tierney, Mark, when you stopped talking there.
Tierney's
What
been
about
brilliant.
Robertson? No, Robertson as well.
Yeah, see, I like Robertson, but he really struggled to start. When he first went to Hull, he did really struggle. And that move to Liverpool changed him completely. He just elevated himself. I think Tierney and McGinn both hit the ground running. And I think, to hit the ground running, there's so much pressure on them because everyone says the same thing when they come down here. They come from a shit league. They're going to be crap. And actually, he's not crap. He's really good. And he will go higher.
I think there was a goal that he scored with Aston. I think it was in the Championship when he was with Aston Villa.
Yeah, and he smashed one in from about 35 yards.
It was a beauty, man. It was a beauty.
And beautifully described. I can't remember who it was. Someone put him in their team and said he had the biggest arse in British football.
Yeah. Oh, he's great. Great. Just that's the weapon. That is the weapon. The weapon of choice is his arse. Just fucking holding off players.
So who are you having as your legendary goal scorer in your five-a-side team then?
You said, who was it you put?
Did we go for Nisbet? Let's go for I would go Nisbet.
You want to go Nisbet?
Let's go Nisbet.
You were talking a lot about Air earlier.
Because you
were saying Lawrence Shanklin.
Oh, you could go Lawrence, yeah.
Yeah. We're going Lawrence Shanklin then.
See, even though we are Hibs and Celtic, it's like we've got a lot of because we're from here, we've got a lot of friends that are Ayr fans, and the buzz with Lawrence Shanklin was huge.
When he left Ayr, man, it was so deflating because he'd done so much for us, and then it disappeared, and we didn't have any to replace him. Nobody replaced him.
Well, he scored over 100 goals in about 2-3 seasons, didn't he? It's something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
then every time that you aye.
Ayr always seem to get good players, like good young players. They do amazing for us in the Championship or League One, whatever was league we decided to play in that season. and then they just fuck off. If somebody better all just pinches them off and it's like we're just left with nobody again. And then we'll get the rare gem that comes through.
Yeah. So are we going Lawrence Shanklin?
Nisbet.
Oh,
let's go Nisbet. Yeah.
All right, Kevin Nisbet. Yep. So we got Forster, McGregor, Brown, McGinn, Nisbet.
Yep.
All right. It'll be on there Saturday. Pictures of them all in all their glory as well. I'll find some beautiful pictures of them for you as well. Boys, thank you so much for coming on. It's much appreciated. I wish you all the best for the future. Genuinely, I hope everything falls in your lap the way you want it to. Guys, if you're watching this, please go and download the boys' song. It's called Vibes. They are La Club Royale, not LA Club Royale. Tell your friends, but tell them it's La, not LA. And boys, thank you so much. And for now, it's back to the show.
You got those vibes I was thinking of. You got the moves to mix things up. Moving over closer. Moving over closer. You think I got it up the back. You think that I couldn't match that.
So there we go then, the boys from La Club Royale, and you heard it here first. When they crack America, they're going to switch it up to LA Club Royale. Yeah, I did ask because I wasn't sure. So due to schedules, next week there won't be any zooming in. So I've got a couple more lined up, don't worry, but there won't be a zooming in next week. It'll be a shorter episode next week. Hurrah, I hear you say. It's not very nice, is it? So, it can only mean one thing, because I'm still here. I'm just getting old. Ow! Well, I didn't mean to headbutt you. You picked me up. Yeah, okay. What are you now? Novak Djokovic? I know you changed like the weather. Nah, I'm bored of the tennis. I'm all over the football now. Vindaloo, 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 na na. Oh, good God. When will it end? So you're an England fan now. Anyway, I can't talk about it. We're here to guess how old Ray Parlour was from our earlier photo. But let's have the public guesses first of all, shall we, Ted? You mean where you read out random names and places and pretend that you sent them in? Ted, what are you on about? These are all real guesses. So here we go. Shay from Billinghay. Oh, imagine my shock. The name rhymes with the place. Ted, I think you'll find that is a pure coincidence and nothing more. Anyway, Shay, I'm sorry, he was not 22. Sally from the Valley. The Valley, what, she actually lives outdoors in between some hills? It's just rubbish, really. We all know what you're doing. You're just making up names, rhyming it with a place and coming up with an age. Nobody watching this show believes you are getting actual guesses from real people. Well, I am. Sally from the Valley, she thought he was 23. You're wrong, Sally, sorry. Of course she's wrong. You made up the guess and stuck it in the show. Ridiculous. Okay, Ted, well, let's see. How old do you think Ray Parlour was? You're an actual teddy bear who talks through the medium of my ear. How old was Ray Parlour? Well, I think you're trying to trick us here, Reedy. So I am going for 19. I think he was quite young when that photo was taken. Okay, Ted, well, let's see. So when this photo of Ray Parlour was taken, I can exclusively reveal he was 15 years of age. He's a child, Reedy. When did we start guessing children's ages? This show is a bloody joke. Come on, Ted, that one was just a toughie. I've had it up my sleeve for ages. I won't lie, I've been desperate to use it, but I've held back. Whatever, I'm off. Now, Ukraine tonight. It's coming home, it's coming home, it's coming. Oh, for fuck's sake. Has anyone ever sacked a teddy bear before? No? Can we be a first? Yeah, maybe. Anyway, that draws to a close another show. 46 episodes done. I'm very proud of what we've done, 46 shows. I'm proud of all of you who've stuck with us for 46 shows. I say, it started out as a little bit of a laugh. We've grown it. It's been fun. We've met some great people. It's been a laugh. I'll keep doing it as long as you keep watching it. Simple as that. So hope you all enjoyed the show. If you are English, good luck for tonight. Enjoy your night. You'll piss it. Honestly, you'll beat them dead easy. If you are Ukrainian, good luck for tonight. What the hell are you doing watching this show? And you've got fecking no chance of winning tonight. Sorry. And I don't really care either, to be honest, either way. But remember, most importantly of all, even if you're Ukrainian, Andre, and you're peed off about what I just said, don't forget to click subscribe down here. Don't forget to ring the little bell so you never miss another episode. But more importantly, give us a little like if you enjoyed it. But for now, ding ding, next stop Saturday the 10th of July for what, believe it or not, will be episode 47. Have a good week, everybody. And as always, as Reedy says, stay safe.